It's the only correct way and successful way to bypass your OBC on a club car DS or Precedent is don't. I don't even need a club car here. This is a Yamaha, but I don't need a club car here to show you the correct way and the only effective way to bypass your OBC. Like I said, don't. Here's our symptoms though. It'll be this type of charger and a DS club car or Precedent club car. Now what that charger will do, the charging system is two parts. The charger and the onboard charge computer, or the OBC. They are very problematic. If you've Googled it already, you will see how problematic they are. It's a two-part system. One part fails, the other part doesn't work. What the charger will actually do if your OBC has failed is, so as I plug it in, that's what it'll do. Nothing, absolutely nothing, because the charger requires that to be connected to the OBC to know when to switch on, when to switch off, and how much voltage or ampage to put into the batteries at any given time. So if your charger is doing that, a symptom of your OBC is failing or failed. The other thing is, these guys when plugged in will generally buzz. I have seen these guys plugged in and buzzing but still staying at zero. That can also be a symptom of your OBC. But let's say you've diagnosed your OBC as failed or failing. And like I said, I don't even need a club car here to show you how to do this. But the one thing I would test first is sometimes those chargers and the OBC will not work correctly if you have extremely low voltage. So you're first of all going to find your main negative and main positive terminals of the battery pack of your cart. The way to find that out is the terminals that are not connected to another battery will be the main terminals. If you see, follow your terminals. These are all connected to another battery. They're all going to another battery, except that one is headed out that way, and this guy is headed out that way. Follow the other ones. They're all connected to another battery. So once you've found the two that are connected to the cart, not the battery bank, you've got your main negative and positive. The way to identify your negative and positive is don't always trust the red and black, okay? If somebody's been messing with it, sometimes the colors can be wrong. Read it on the battery. You'll see there it says neg, there it says pos. You'll see there it says pos, and there it says neg. So neg, pos, they are your main. Test them with a multimeter. Get yourself a cheap multimeter if you're going to work on the electric golf cart by yourself or for yourself. Pop into voltage. That will be determined by, I guess, your multimeter of what the symbol is exactly. Some of them just literally have volts written there. And then use your positive and negative. Now if you get it around the wrong way, all it's going to do is come up with a minus. So that's my negative on my positive and vice versa. See how it's still got the voltage, but it just says negative in front there. That means your polarity is around the wrong way, so we're going to go that way. Now this is saying 52.4 but 52.3. This literally just came off a charger though, okay? I'm not exactly sure how low before an OBC can't sense the voltage, but I would say it's very, very low. So if you're reading anything under 20 volts, yep, maybe it can't sense the OBC can't sense that there's voltage there or enough voltage there for the switch of the charger on. The Yamaha chargers, they don't like to see anything under 40 volts or they won't switch on. So sometimes you might have to get an external charger to charge these up to get your other one to work. But that's the direction we're heading anyway. Okay, so let's say you've checked, you've got some voltage, or you've already diagnosed it is the OBC. This is the only way to correctly bypass the OBC, and I don't even need a club car like I said, and that is go and buy an aftermarket charger. Clip those alligator clips onto your main positive and main negative. Red to red, black to black. Switch it on and you're done. The reason you're done is because that is the charger and the OBC and it's clipped straight to your battery bank. So that has now solved everything. You don't need that to get signal from the OBC. You don't need the correct OBC. So why do that instead of diagnosing these things? Because it'll cost you more in diagnosis or bypassing, the actual electrical bypass that needs to happen, than just buying one of these chargers. Now, I'm not selling these chargers. You go and find one off eBay or Amazon or whatever website. That's 200 Australian dollars. It'll cost you more than that in labour to find your OBC. Now, why do that? I'll turn that off so you can hear me. The reason I suggest to do that, rather than muck around bypassing OBC, if you bypass your OBC electrically, this charger will still work. However, you are now the OBC. You now have to tell this when to turn on, when to turn off, and the bit you can't do, how much voltage to put in it. So when to turn it on, when to turn it off. You're only guessing at it. It might need 5 hours, you charge it for 6. Did you overheat them? You charge it for 4. Did you undercharge them? What I've seen 100 times is people become the OBC, they won't charge them enough, which is deteriorating the batteries. If the batteries are low voltage and deteriorating, it'll deteriorate the brushes in the motor. This is why I'm saying I don't need a club car here to show you the correct way to bypass your failing OBC is don't bypass it. Well, do bypass it completely. Don't wiring bypass it. Ignore it and get an aftermarket type charger. I don't care what brand. Clip it on, find your main negative and your main positive, clip it on, and you're done. Once that's plugged in, walk away. If you bypass it and plug that guy in, you have to come back and check. Are they getting hot? Are they charging enough? You won't know. That's smarter than you are. Well, you know what I mean. That's going to do the job. You're not. That is the only correct way to save yourself expensive batteries, expensive motor repairs. I've seen it a dozen times for that one little failed OBC, which fails all the time. Now, I don't care what brand you buy off Amazon or eBay or whichever, but you want roughly between 10, no less than 10 amp, and generally up to about 20 amp. That particular guy is only a 10, it works perfectly. 15 will work, 20 will work. Try not to go too much higher than that, they charge too fast. If you go lower than that, they will still charge, they'll take a long charge. But you can work those little 6 amp and 5 amp charges a little bit too hard. And that's quite a lot of battery power. That's a 48 volt battery. That's a 48 volt battery bank, so you can be working those little charges way too hard. In the interim, grab them. They're cheap, but if you're going to do it long term, 10 to 20 amp, problem solved. And please subscribe to Fix It Yourself on YouTube. Thanks for watching.